Today, we're going to be talking about every major and minor foul that your FRC team might face during a match in the 2026 rebuild season. I'm Brogan and I've been teaching robotics and science for over a decade now. This video is a quick resource for your drive team to take a look at right before the start of match, so you can make sure that you're not losing big points and potentially losing some matches because of some major fouls this season. So let's get into it. I've broken this down into auto fouls and Telop fouls. We'll go through auto fouls pretty quickly because for the most part, there's not really a whole lot of fouls you can get in auto. The main thing in auto is make sure that your robot whose bumpers are completely across the center line doesn't contact another robot. So programmers, when you're developing those autos, do not have it so that you're completely over that white line. Stay on your half, in my opinion. Same thing, humans, do not touch the robot console or operating console and stay where you're supposed to be. Those are mostly the fouls you can get for major and minor inside that. Now, let's talk about Telop and endgame. We'll start with talking about major fouls, and we'll talk about things to do with fuel. For the most part, use fuel for what it's supposed to be. Don't try to make things easier yourself. Not really sure how you do that on that respect, but don't get in the way. Make sure, and the big one, is you're only scoring when your bumpers are at least partially or fully in your alliance zone. So when we look at our alliance zone here, if you are partially over, basically if you think of the bump as your alliance zone section, as long as you're partially over that bump or partially over the alliance section, the bumpers are slightly over that, you're going to start launching some fuel. So you don't have to be all the way in your alliance zone. As long as you're partially within, you can start launching fuel. So that's a good thing to note. If you are outside of that though, that's 15 points. That's a major foul. Then for the most part, don't grab anything on the field unless it's your tower, which is your rungs and your uprights. Do not intentionally try to impact another robot so that you're the intention of breaking it. Don't tip another robot. These are all major fouls again, can also be a yellow card. And then don't hold off parts of play. Some things I've seen from some matches from some teams is two robots holding off one specific section of their zone so another robot can't get over. You got to watch that you're not colluding to not allow another opposing alliance into your team with two or more people. If it's just one robot doing it, it can be not a problem depending on how egregious it is, but two or more that appear to be doing that aren't allowed to close off major elements of this respect. When it comes to the tower, in your opposing alliance zone, don't contact a robot within that tower. So you're playing defense for this last 30 seconds, in my opinion, just stay away from the tower, avoid it like a plague, because not only is it is a major foul, if they're off the ground, they're also fully awarded 30 points at level 3, which is also really big for those ranking points. You got to watch on that as well. When it comes to human players, as similar, drive coaches don't touch any elements, and then use your drivetrain as it's supposed to be with the fuel. So make sure you're either launching it at the outpost or putting it into the chute from your corral to be able to get in there. Don't use fuel for other things. That one's pretty obvious as well. As a human player, there's only a few ways you can get it in. You can put it through the chute, through the bottom of your outpost, or you can throw it over your alliance wall into that outpost area. So make sure you're focusing in on those as well, not doing that. So those are all the major fouls you can face during a match section. Let's talk about minor fouls next. These ones are all 5 points. For the most part, don't intentionally launch a fuel out of the field, particularly inside of an auto section as well. If you're not lined up properly, you're launching fuel out. That could be a minor foul. If you keep repeating it, it can end up being a major foul as well. The big one that some robots are doing is that they are catching fuel. So you have to make sure that fuel comes out of the hub. It has to either contact another fuel that's on the ground or contact another ground from that robot that actually shot it out so that they can actually start grabbing the fuel. Basically, the intention of it is to try to reintroduce fuel back into it. So make sure fuel drops on the ground before you go pick that up. So as you're coming by to scoop some of that fuel up, be careful on when you're coming to pick some of those things up. Don't try to get inside other robots. And then with pins, it's a 3-second count. If you keep pinning them after those 3 seconds, it's also a full major penalty as well, or major foul, sorry. Stay in your area. Once you reach in this is a big one for that chute section. Don't get your hands above that red tape. So for instance, you've got the red tape here or blue tape, depending on which alliance zone you're in. Human players, you're allowed to stay behind that red tape, but do not go in front of that red tape. Same thing, drive coaches don't touch stuff. And then your outpost has a storage limit. So if at any point in time your both corral and your chute is full, you have to make sure you're dumping one of these back in or start launching some fuel back into the match, because that is a foul or a minor foul if it is full and you continue to have more fuel inside there. It's considered to be hoarding, so make sure you just, the easiest way to get rid of that would just be to open up your chute early so you don't have to run into that. So I hope that was a helpful, really quick run overview. It says you can watch right before you head into a match, and best of luck out there in this FRC season.